Hey everyone, it's Rafael from Black Lotus Audio, and I'm here with Alan, founder of Black Lotus Audio.
What's up, everybody?
So it's been 5 years since we first met, and we're finally here meeting each other like live. We're actually I'm finally meeting in person. What's your first impression when we started working together those 5 years ago?
So 5 years ago, I think I cold messaged you on SoundCloud and was like, hey, do you want to make packs? And then since then, you've always been like this super hard worker. You've always crushed it with the videos, crushed it with the production. And then so my first impression of you when we met was, wow, number one, you're really short. And number two, it was, I got to see you in the studio in action making stuff. And I got a in real life sound killer tutorial, and I learned so much. So
yeah,
it's been fun.
We got in the background there, the jams and all that,
yeah.
The studio sessions.
The 5 years was worth it.
So, do you remember the exact moment Black Lotus started? That moment where you were starting to create this child of yours, where it sort of started building off the blocks and all that?
I do, because Black Lotus was started at a very weird time in the world. I had just graduated college, and COVID was a thing, and so instead of going and getting a job, I was like, well, I've been doing this sound design stuff, let me see if I can make that work. And so that was where Black Lotus started, and then it just kind of grew from there. We posted some packs, we worked on stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and talking about packs, I think the first pack we worked together that you hired me for was Virtual, right?
Yep.
Which was a Virtual Riot inspired Serum preset pack. How did that go to? Why did you chose to start off with Virtual, or how that first pack collaboration felt with you?
So the reason that I started off with the Virtual Riot pack was, number one, huge fan of Virtual Riot. Always looked up his sound design tutorials and stuff, and I've always just kind of learned from him and really appreciated his sound design. So it was kind of an homage to this person. It was the first pack that we put out. Well, first of two. We had two packs that we launched with. And I knew I wanted to be in the dubstep area because that was what I made at the time. And so that was kind of the origin of that. And then you had this really crazy sound design that it was kind of sounded like Virtual Riot. And I was like, well, here's the guy. I had the idea. It all kind of lined up. Let's see what he can do. And you absolutely crushed it. I think that pack it still holds up really well today. I think we even use it in Project a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, because it's timeless pack almost. It has all of the essentials, everything that you could use for making dubstep. So the link is in the description. Not sponsored, but it's there. So now that we talked a little bit about the first pack and all that, we had to release it, right? So how did you feel doing that first release where Black Lotus Audio actually went live? Were you nervous? Were you just screw it, I'm gonna just publish it all?
So I was a little nervous because I always wanted the brand to be kind of really high quality, because there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people that release free packs, and some of them are great, some of them are not so great. But I really wanted Black Lotus to be good, and so the night before the launch, I was really nervous. Is it good enough? Going through it again and again, and I could never find anything I didn't like about the pack. It was just so solid. So that gave me confidence. The product was good, and then we were kind of just doing we had some free downloads that I had published that were available beforehand. When Hyped It was a big thing, and download gates. So I'd kind of built up a little bit of an email list, a little bit of marketing, some YouTube demo videos. And then when I hit live, it was amazing. I didn't get any sales for a month. It was all my nerves just shot through the roof. But then one night, it was 2 a.m. I heard my phone go off, and somebody had bought both of the first products for Black Lotus, and it was $100 or something. It felt like $1 million to me. But it actually caused my nerves to just shoot through the roof again, because I was like, oh no, somebody actually bought this. I hope it's as good as I think it is. And then from there on, the positive feedback just kept rolling in with the packs. And so that kind of took my nerves a little bit lower over time.
Yeah, and I think something that a lot of people, or maybe everyone agrees, is we've always had a focus on premium high quality sounds, right? I've never heard of someone say that our sounds are shit. Literally everyone's oh, these sounds are awesome, this is super cool, especially when we started working on the Vital stuff, because I think we were the pioneers in Vital sound design presets and all that. And I still think we are sort of I don't think a lot of people focus on Vital actually.
Yeah, I know there's a few. It seems like a lot of the big brands in the space have kind of stayed away from Vital, but I do know that the day before Vital was officially released, we were fortunate, one of our sound designers was in the beta project. And so we actually were able to, they were a beta tester, and we were able to have, I think we did a free pack that was ready to go on the day that Vital was officially released, because we had a beta tester who was able to make us a product. And then so from that point, we kind of it felt like we became the default Vital preset pack company.
Accidentally, right? Because
I was like, oh, this Vital thing, let's check it out and do a pack. And we have a guy who's got the beta access, so we could do this right now. Let's do it. And then that pack just skyrocketed with the free downloads. And then we were like, well, I guess maybe we should do something that's, premium and, a full actual pack that people can use to make full tracks with. And then that one worked, and then they just kept working, and we just kept going. And now I think Vital is like what you guys are known for now.
Yeah, it's like the thing Black Lotus Audio has talked about. It's like good Vital presets.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Vital isn't as big as right now compared to, like, for example, Hero 2, but we're still, like, definitely known for that.
Yeah.
And so we've talked a little bit about, like, behind the scenes stuff. What are some things that maybe we can share that people don't know about running Black Lotus Audio, like the behind the scenes or the struggles maybe that we can share?
So I think there's a lot. It's actually tough running companies, you've found out. And one of the biggest challenges is keeping that level of quality really high, where nowadays you also on social media, or whether you're posting content or with the packs as well, people are like, that last pack was sick, when's the new one? And so you're always having to pump out content, like just crazy amounts of content. And when you're trying to do ultra premium, really nice stuff, there's a challenge. It costs a lot, it takes time. And of course, you can only do so much in a day. So I think that was the biggest challenge, is trying to get the volume up while maintaining the quality.
Yeah. And so talking about, like, for example, all the management and all that, right now, as you guys know, I'm the new owner of Black Lotus Audio, right? Alan was the founder of Black Lotus Audio. What triggered that switch, or maybe not like what triggered that switch, but what made you feel confident that I could be a good owner and keep the values of Black Lotus Audio? Because I'm pretty sure that I've been sort of like stepping in the same steps that you've been, like trying to keep the quality up, trying to like match the expectations and all that. Why do you think Soundkiller, or Rafael as you guys know me, was the guy to go for?
So I knew you were the guy because, like I said, when I first reached out to you, this random stranger on SoundCloud, I was like, hey, I want to, have a pack made. You were like, yeah, let's do it. Like, what do you want? Let's do it. We'll do it amazing. I gave you some feedback on it, and you were like, hey, I fixed it, no problems, let me know. And like, you're just super easy to work with, and you had that same passion for production and quality. And then I found out you could do YouTube videos too, and that was like the hack. So if you guys look back at like the Black Lotus YouTube, you'll notice that this guy is on pretty much every video. I was not the YouTube guy, you were. And so you were doing a lot of sound design for us. You were doing a lot of our videos. I think you worked on a couple ads for us as well, and you were crushing those. And so it came to a point where I was sitting there stressed out, and I was like, had all this other stuff going on in my life that was kind of distracting me. There was a song. And I was like, okay, I don't think that I'm the person to run Black Lotus anymore, but I don't want to just shut it down, because we had like this wonderful community that was built. The products were amazing, people were loving it, we were starting to get traction where big artists were starting to use our stuff and reach out, and it felt like this really cool point. But I was like, it had been years at this point, and I don't think I ever really made money personally with Black Lotus, because I just reinvested everything. It felt like a good decision at the time, maybe not, but I was like sitting there one night going, okay, I can't do this anymore, I can't shut it down. And there's only one person in the world who's doing the sound design, doing the videos, who understands the ads, and that was Rafael. And I was just like, I know that we've talked a lot over the years, and you shared a lot of the values, high quality. I knew you were going to treat the customers right. I knew you had some really great ideas for products, and like you were going to take the company in a really cool direction. And so I was like, this is the guy. We gotta get you in the seat so you can drive it to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And watching Black Lotus from the sidelines, I'm always just so impressed with what you've done with it. It makes me happy. I feel like I truly put the company in the right hands.
Do you feel like if it's gotten, maybe I won't say better, but you think that Black Lotus is still like following that growth that Black Lotus had when you had it? Like you feel like it's still like growing, it's still like pushing forward, do you think? Or do you think like the momentum stopped after you like retired from Black Lotus?
Well, when I retired, I will be honest, I checked out for a bit. I had been doing it every single day for like 10 hours a day for like 4 years at that point. So I was like, okay, we're going to let Raph do it. We'll check in like a couple months. And when I checked back in, the entire website had been redone. Some new products had been launched. And I think we had messaged a couple times between then. But when I looked at it, all I could feel was, why didn't I do that? And that's just every time you show me stuff, I'm like, why didn't I do that? What was I doing? So you've definitely taken this in such a cool direction. The new products are insane. The night stuff that you were showing me, I'm like, why was I trying to do sound design? I should just use these samples. This is so much easier. And then you showed me all the cool processing stuff. So I got some secret tech there that was really cool. But yeah, I think I've trailed off of your question. But I'm just very impressed with everything that you've done.
Yeah. And do you ever like miss that stress of working daily on Black Lotus? Because you just mentioned it was like a daily thing. You have to like be sitting there with like a huge amount of stress. You feel like better as personally, like not having all that stress? You feel like watching Black Lotus on the sidelines has been good for you overall, like especially like mental health, which is one of the most important aspects that people don't talk a lot. Like for example, in the business industry, people don't realize how stressful and how harmful it could be to run a business.
Yep, it's not often talked about, and there's not a lot of sympathy for business owners, which, believe me, I understand. We get all the highs and all the lows, and I will tell you, the lows, they suck. But when I had the chance to give you Black Lotus and step away for a bit, it allowed me that space to like kind of think everything through, and then I got to watch what you were doing. And again, like I was like, man, that's such a good idea. Why didn't I do that? And I kind of realized that when I was in that stress, I wasn't making the best decisions because I was stressed every day trying to pay bills and, you know, make sure the ads were working, make sure the products were great, make sure customers were happy. And I was doing that all day. So to answer your question, I actually do miss it. You know, we would hop on the Discord group chats and get like work done, as in hang out, make music, you know, joke around.
Yeah, we barely actually work. It was just
no,
like
we
3
worked
hours
super hard.
of just messing around, doing everything and anything but actual work.
Yes, but I learned so much, and I had a lot of fun with you guys. And it was fun interacting with the community, making videos, and really just seeing like this thing start from nothing and just grow and grow and grow. And I know like Shaq's use the products. I know other big artists have as well.
Yeah, like we had Shaq, Frosterdanis, Protohype, even Virtual Riot knows about us. So it's like, it's gotten that big.
It's kind of like come full circle. I'm like, wow, that is like, it's incredible to see this thing that I started as like a just college graduate just grew like so much.
Yeah, and I think the best part, Black Lotus, because we are a company, like we do business, right? But it's one of those fun companies. It's like it's not like boring financial stuff and all that. But with, like how Alan was mentioning that, we just like sit down in the Discord call for 3 hours just messing around, like all of the sound designers and everyone just like chatting, and it was a really cool community. Like, of course the focus is making sounds and selling sounds, but we kept a very, very friendly approach with it. Like, just hang out, just talk, just like have fun. Like, that was the goal, was to have fun, right?
Yep, that was rule number one, is we had to enjoy it and have fun. Because when we're not having fun, if it was just a grind, like if I was just pushing you guys and just grinding you, I knew that like the quality of the products would drop. You guys would get burnt out and be like, well, forget this. I'm gonna go like use my skills somewhere else. And I was like, no, you guys are awesome. I got to keep you, so we got to have a good time. And like, I really enjoyed working with you guys. It was a really fun time in my life.
Yeah, and it was super great because, for example, even though we had fun, we created some really premium packs. Like the quality, I think it goes subpar to a lot of the competitors. Like, I think because everybody, like, you had the idea on what pack you wanted, but you had a lot of creative freedom with us. Like, you weren't strict with like what you wanted or anything. You like sort of let us do our thing, and then we sort of like started to polish after our creativity was expressed. And I think having that freedom of creativity was like super big in Black Lotus also,
That's cool.
because it was like I get to make sounds that I like to make, and like other people are enjoying it, and everyone's just having fun. Like,
Yeah, that was kind of one of the other things. It was rule number one, have fun, and rule number two was I really tried my best to like kind of get out of you guys' way, because I hired you guys because you guys, you in particular, were great artists. I loved the music that you made. You guys' sounds were amazing. And so I would kind of just point you in a direction. Hey, let's do like a bro step pack. How does everybody feel about that? And some of my ideas, most of them, got shot down. But then the ones that you guys were excited about, because you guys are the artists, I was like, okay, we'll do that. And we'll lean heavy on that. And I really just then, once we knew what we wanted to do, I got out of the way. I let you guys be creative, be the artists. And then, we had a little bit of a feedback process where they would turn in the products and I would kind of go through and tear them apart preset by preset. It's super fun. And so then I got to have kind of the last say, but it was all very collaborative. There's 3-4 of us on a Discord call almost every day, just kind of like sharing ideas. Oh, this would be cool, this would be fun. So I really did try and give you guys that freedom, and it sounds like that kind of worked out.
yeah. And so thinking now, like 5 years after we first like started with Black Lotus Audio, now that you have a lot more knowledge in like everything, do you feel like you would have done things differently in the start? Like if we were to start Black Lotus Audio again right now with the knowledge you have already, would you even start Black Lotus Audio again? Like would you just like, nah, I don't want to do that again?
No, I'm out now. Oh, I absolutely would. It was so much fun, and any day that you get to, I wake up early, but I woke up on my schedule, would roll down to the studio here, and the commute was coming down my stairs, it's terrible, and then I'd hang out with my friends all day, make sounds, I'd interact with the community, and I'd see all the cool stuff that you guys were making out in the BLA community, and it was just a really fun life, I guess, and so I would absolutely do that again, and I would do a lot of things differently. But you can only know that after you do it and after you go mess it up a bunch. So I'm very happy with the way things went, and I'm looking forward to all the fun things in the future too.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is like the last question because I don't want you guys to get bored with a super long podcast about Black Lotus Audio. What do you hope people remember about the early Black Lotus Audio era, like your Black Lotus Audio?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think the number one thing I would have people remember is just that we were making high quality sounds with the producers in mind. So all the packs are actually producer focused. We weren't making them for us. They were actually really hard and financially horrible decisions to make most of the time. But we made them for the community to like help people learn sound design.
Yeah.
So I guess to say it more clearly, I really want people to remember that we were making not just awesome sounds, but awesome sounds you could learn from. And use for years to come. They weren't just, flavor of the month kind of sounds.
Yeah,
So we
so
really
like
tried
essential sounds like
Yeah.
anyone can use. Because like how we were talking about virtual, that we are still using virtual.
Literally.
And that's a pack that was made, I'd say even more than 5 years ago, because I think a lot of the sounds I already had made before I was even reached out by you for making the pack. And I think, at least in my way when I was designing the sounds, how you were saying that's producer focused, something that I do is instead of like having a studio session just making presets, I made tracks, and that's what really stand out because, for example, those tracks ended up being like the demo projects for the packs, like the demo audios, because I wasn't making a preset, I was making a song and taking those presets from the sound, perfecting them, like making them perfect for you guys to check out, right? Like,
Yeah, and that was one of the things that we always tried to do is like, we almost started with the song and then pulled the presets and samples out of the song that we knew worked in that song, in that genre, and then we were able to like, make better products that way because we weren't just sitting there at a computer in Serum or Vital making presets that sounded cool but ultimately weren't like usable. It all came from the artist and like the actual music.
And the music was so good that I remember you like constantly messaging me, sending me screenshots of people commenting like, "Oh, you need to make this into a full track. Like you have to release it and all that." Especially like for example with the Octane demo.
Oh, dude.
The Octane demo like just completely blew it off the roof. Like
every ad that we ran with that Octane demo, people were like, "Where do I download this song?" And I'm like, "No, this is a preset pack." And they're like, "That's cool. Where's the song? I need the music." So.
Yeah, so maybe that's the next challenge. Maybe we need to make those into like actual releases.
I think they'd be a hit. They kind of already are, so.
Yeah. So there we have it. This was Alan, founder of Black Lotus Audio. As you guys now seeing him in the actual flesh. It was super fun. It was super fun just coming over to visit Alan. We've had a whole bunch of fun overall this week. And it's been super special, so I hope that you guys feel that enthusiasm in this interview podcasting because I've been excited and I'm definitely going to come back again, like, hopefully very soon. Because we need more studio time. We need to make more tracks here in the studio. So, comment down below anything and whatever. We want to read what you guys think about it. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Goodbye, Alan, for being here. Thank you again.
Peace.
See ya. There we go. This was fun.
We rock.